an hour at most. Not as long as my stream a couple days ago on Fallout 4, talking about. I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on E3 so far. Because to kick off, no, excuse me, I'm sorry. To kick off E3, they started out with I think EA went on first, and then Bethesda was later on. So I liked EA's pre-show on Sunday with Battlefield 1, and then Mass Effect Andromeda, I think that's how you say it, and that's like the main two things I was looking forward to that show. Oh, and Star Wars, they talked about that, but
Thank you, my friend.
And then Bethesda's conference, that I really enjoyed, except for like, you know, sometimes they're like kind of, they talk about the new DLC coming out for Fallout 4, and they talked about the new DLC coming out for Fallout 4. Obviously, the big one was Dishonored 2. They announced 2 games, Quake Champions. I haven't played Quake because I don't have a PC, but I know it's going to be good for people out there. And then the other game they showed, what they announced, was Prey, and it's not supposed to be like related to like the first Prey game, and in any way, but it's like going to be a sci-fi psychological thriller, and I love those types of games, so can't wait for that. And then they talk more about Elder Scrolls Online and how they're going to do this really neat feature called One Tamriel, and that is basically like the first time that MMO has ever done this thing where basically it means all the enemies in the entire game, everywhere you go, all the enemies are going to be scaled down to your level. So say you want to play with your level 50 friend, and you're only like level 10, like you just started. You'll be able to go to him, group with him, and still be able to fight all the enemies he fights, because they scale down to your level. And same thing if you're level 50 and your friend's level 10. Oh, I just killed myself. But yeah. And that's going to be a really neat feature. They said that's coming out in fall, so I'm probably going to have to get back into Elder Scrolls Online, probably start streaming that more. And obviously they showed a lot of gameplay for Dishonored 2, and I really enjoyed that. If you haven't seen that, I would definitely suggest that. Excuse my stuttering. But yeah. And then just yesterday's conference was they had. And I just killed myself again. Oh, nope, Sully got it. And no, I just killed myself. But, yeah, they got... Yesterday's conference was Microsoft, Sony, and I'm not sure if Nintendo went on. I think they went on. I didn't see Nintendo. But, yeah, they had... I know Microsoft and Sony. Microsoft had this, really cool feature. They were talking about how Windows 10 and Xbox One games can, like, cross-platform. Like, say you can play Xbox One game on your Windows 10. I mean, I don't have an Xbox One, but that is a really cool feature. I do have to say that is a really cool thing to do. And then obviously they showed some stuff for like Gears of War 4. I thought it was 3, but I've only played like the first 2 Gears of Wars back on my Xbox 360. Yeah. And then I'll just do that. And then what was it? They had some more stuff. They talked about Minecraft a little bit. And
good choice.
Gosh, it's hard for me to remember about Microsoft because I don't really play any of their stuff. They showed Forza Motorsport. And I'm not a racing guy, but it looked nice. It looked nice. And
well, maybe some.
They showed a bunch of other stuff. I just can't remember those, sadly. And the main point for me was Sony, because I think they just killed it with all the stuff. It was just game after game, and I think that's doing it right. They started off strong with God of War 4, and I'm not gonna go super in depth, but basically it's like apparently Kratos has a son now, and he was teaching him how to hunt. And it started off really slow, but like it ended off with like Kratos killing a gigantic fucking ogre. It was just amazing. He had his like axe and he was like killing. He was just. And then after that, I don't remember the order they went in. I think they showed. Oh yeah, they showed a trailer for Days Gone By. I'll revisit that because at the end of the conference they showed gameplay of that. They showed the trailer. It was like, you know, apparently it's a open world survival horror type thing, and you're a biker guy, and he was like talking about how he misses the old days back before the zombie outbreak. You know, standard zombie apocalypse stuff. I'm not saying that it's generic or anything. It actually looks pretty fun. And then they went on from that. I think they started talking about VR. They started talking about PlayStation VR. They even gave it an announced date and a price tag. It was like October something, and it's $400. I'm not really into virtual reality, but I can understand why a lot of people are. And they showed off multiple games. They said they're going to have at least 50 PlayStation exclusive VR games. They showed off, I just killed myself. They showed off a Star Wars Battlefront mission. It's going to be like, it was like X-Wing virtual reality VR. It was X-Wing VR missions coming out for Star Wars Battlefront, I think. And then they showed off like a standalone Batman Arkham VR game. And it was made by Rocksteady. Rocksteady made all the other Arkham games, so as far as I know, it's gonna be at least good. All right. And then they showed like a really like creepy type game where like a dude wakes up in a very like abandoned, like crappy house, abandoned, derelict. You get it, a shitty place. And it's like all creepy, and then like he finds his tape. And like it says kitchen, and that's like supposed to be a reference to something I forget. And he starts hearing people running around, and it scares the shit out of him. And then they showed the title for it. It's Resident Evil 7. That was good. It was really good. And then right after that, I think they came out, and this guy came out, and like the screen showed a shadow of Crash Bandicoot right behind him. And then they started talking about having the first and second Crash Bandicoot remastered. And
don't worry,
like they had, and another Crash Bandicoot game being remastered. I don't remember which one, but I know they were talked about having at least the first two remastered. And then I'm pretty sure after that they showed Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm sorry, I don't exactly remember the order they went in, but yes, they showed Horizon Zero Dawn. And it looked really nice. It looked very good, and the gameplay was awesome, and you could just see the character, and then like, she rode like this, it was just weird. I mean, it wasn't weird in a bad way, it was weird in a good way. Horizon Zero Dawn, I recommend getting it whenever it comes out. Because I'm probably going to get it whenever I get money when it comes out. So Horizon Zero Dawn. What if you haven't heard of it by now? In case I don't know how you haven't. It's like a third-person shooter type thing, except you go around as a woman and you destroy some fucking robotic dinosaurs. It's weird to explain, but if you see it in action, it just looks amazing. And then after that, what was after that? That was... Oh, how could I forget? They had The Last Guardian. How could I forget? That was before that. They had The Last Guardian. They even gave a release date for that. I think that was October 20-something. I'm not completely 100% sure. But yeah, a release date for The Last Guardian. Can you believe that? I just went past that. Like, I was started talking about stuff that happened after that. I just forgot about it. I don't know how I could, but I did. So yeah, Final Fantasy, Last Guardian. And then, then they had Hideo Kojima come out. If you haven't heard of him, he's the guy who made the Metal Gear games. Very good.
Catch this.
And he's working on a new game called a Death Stranding, and it has Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead, and he's in it, and it's like, apparently it's gonna have some of the same elements as PT was supposed to have, but I'm not sure. It looks pretty good. It looked pretty good. I mean, even though it's just like a cinematic trailer for it, it got me intrigued, to say the least. And then they finished off with having Days Gone a gameplay, and basically, from what I saw, it was you're chasing down a guy. And then you finally catch up to him, and then he like breaks his leg, and then he gets all bitchy about it, and he starts screaming, my leg. And then you look off, like, cause you're on a rooftop now, cause you chased him onto a roof, and you look out below, and you just see like literally, like I'm not joking either. You literally see hundreds upon hundreds of actual zombies, like. Not like maybe a couple dozen, like I'm not exaggerating, literally about at least 100 zombies. So yeah, that was pretty fucking cool. I got a really Last of Us type vibe from it. Not saying that's bad, because Last of Us was a really great game. And yeah, if you haven't played Last of Us, recommend that also. And that wrapped up Sony's. I just really went over it very vaguely. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to be looking forward to. I also kind of glossed, going back to Bethesda's pre-show, I kind of glossed over Fallout 4 DLC. And apparently they revealed that the first DLC that's actually going to be coming out this week, I'm pretty sure it's this week. If it's not, it's definitely going to be next week. It's contraptions, and it allows you to build multiple contraptions for your settlement. Like, say you build like a fucking like 10-foot house, you can now get an elevator. You can now build an elevator, and then if you ever seen like, they also got like these I don't know, they're hard to explain. They're like really tedious like brick trap things. Like if you ever seen Home Alone, they kind of trap the kid sets up. You can kind of set traps like that up. It's really cool. And they got like armor racks, weapon racks now. So like you can actually like create what's on the main menu. It looks cool. And then next DLC that's coming out next month is actually going to be build your own vault. That's going to be something. I cannot wait for that. And like the really cool way they showed it was it kind of like looked like Fallout. They showed like a side view that was like underground, so it looked like Fallout Shelter, but it was like actual Fallout 4. It looked really cool. And after that it was, and then the biggest DLC besides Far Harbor for Fallout 4 is Nuka World, and that apparently is an amusement park run by Raiders, excuse me. Yeah, and that's coming out in August. And then after that, they're done with Fallout 4 DLC, which kind of makes you think, like, what? They're already done with it? I mean, they didn't stop working on Skyrim. Like, they didn't finish up doing patches and updates and finishing up all the DLC for that until, like, fucking the end of 2012. So they kind of really want to move on to other things. And another bit of other news, Todd Howard did confirm, if you're wondering about Elder Scrolls 6, he did say that they got 2 other projects they're working on to release before Elder Scrolls 6. So you got a little bit of ways to go. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll announce it next year and it'll be out early 2018. I don't know. They said they're going to turn over a new leaf. Maybe. Who knows? We'll have to see. They did tease a Wolfenstein thing. They did tease a new Wolfenstein. I haven't even played the Wolfenstein Old Blood, I think it's called. I need to play that though. I really do. And oh, how could I forget? Skyrim Remastered Bethesda. That comes out October 28th. And it's not just going to be enhanced visuals like you would think it is. It's not going to just be that. They're going to add console mods for PS4 and Xbox One, like they're doing with Fallout 4 right now. We still don't have them on PS4, but you know, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. And then what else was it? Oh. Elder Scrolls Online is also getting a new DLC this week, called like the first big DLC pack they released for Elder Scrolls Online. I'm just behind on all these games. I need to get money. And then another thing about Mafia 3 at E3's Lincoln Clay. He's a orphaned Vietnam vet who was taken into the black mob at a young age, and then when the black mob gets betrayed by the Italian mob in New Bordeaux, and tries to kill all of them, Lincoln Clay survives, and he's out for blood. So basically the entire game is Lincoln Clay taking down the Italian mob in New Bordeaux and building up a new mob in the ashes. And you get 3 side bosses, they say. You got Burke. He's the Irish underboss. They didn't really go too much into him, which was kind of weird. They just said he was the Italian. And then you had Vito Scaletta, the main protagonist from the second Mafia. And he's basically there because he wanted a cut of the Italian mob's profits and shit like that, but they were like, fuck you, Vito, and he was like, alright, I'm gonna work with this guy named Lincoln Clay, I think you know him. And they showed off a bunch of different ways you could take down the mobs, like rackets and businesses and shit. Like, it's all about disrupting their income. So like it was in the gameplay they showed the guy playing, he was taking down one guy. It was Leo. I forgot his last. How could I forget his last name? His brother is the leader of the Italian mob that Lincoln Clay is going after. But yeah, you're going after Leo, and he owns multiple rackets in the French ward.
Take this!
So, you're going after him, and there's multiple ways to disrupt his income. First of all, he's got money baggers. I forgot what they're technically called. They like drive around town, and then they get to like a protected spot, and they like count the money that he gets from his racket. Obviously, you can go in there and steal the fucking money, or like he's got pimps all around the town that like give him their income at the end of the week, and you can go like to like their hideouts and kill them, and that'll disrupt their income as well. And when you like interrupt their business, when you interrupt their business enough, it showed a cutscene of like Louis' brother getting pissed at him because he was like losing all this fucking money, and he was like, "Hey, I got an idea. We can get this mayoral candidate in office." It was a crooked one because it was on their side, and Lincoln Clay gets wind of this. They didn't really go into detail how, but he does, and basically he, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, he goes there. What was I thinking? He goes to this boat because they decided to have it on like a ferry boat out in the bayou, and he goes there. And he like sets up like a trap, I guess. Like he blows up this old like crane on the water, and it like ends up ramming into like the ferry boat. So that thing like crashes into the land, and it's like on fire. It's exploding everywhere and shit. And at the same time, he's like trying to shoot past all the guards to get up the loo, and then they get to the fucking top, and then the whole ferry boat just explodes from the inside, and they go flying into the bayou. It's hilarious. And then Lou's scared shitless, like he's running into the swamp, shooting behind him because he can't see the Lincoln, because he can't see the player. And then the player's just like hiding behind logs and shit when he's shooting, like trying to be stealthy. And then when when the player finally like sneaks up behind Leo, he's like, "I'm gonna send a message to your brother." He's like, anything you want, man. All right, just let me live. And he's like, all right. And then he freaking like, and then it cuts like the next day at his brother's mansion, and outside his brother, on his brother's statue is his dead brother's corpse. It's like hanging on to the statue, and like there's a sign around his neck that says "Re-elect Jacob," and that was the crooked mayor that they were trying to get into office. It was really cool. That's really all I can recollect from E3. Because I wasn't there, I had to watch live streams, and sometimes I didn't even watch live stream. I just watch people talking about it, like I'm doing right now. Bruh, fuck you. And yeah. So I talked about all the games I wanted to talk about E3. I mean, I wanted to see more Mass Effect, but nah, because I love me some Mass Effect. I wanted to see more of that, but they were like, nah. I'm just gonna see like a little trailer, like it was about 2 minutes, I think.
Enough of you.
And then yeah. So overall, talking about all the conferences, Microsoft was good. If you were like really into their stuff, you would probably say it was the best. Sony's, I'm not saying I'm a fanboy or anything, but I think they were better than Microsoft. Now I'm not gonna say they had an A+ job, because I think they could have ended on a better note. Not saying Days Gone looked boring, but I think they just could have ended on a better note.
Not getting up from that. One down.
And then EA, nah, it was a bunch of meh. Oh my god, how could I forget? I totally forgot about Ubisoft. Well, that's Ubisoft for you. Ubisoft, EA's was what you'd expect from EA, and Ubisoft was like meh, but good at the same. But it had its good points. Like they announced the new South Park game they had coming out, South Park: The Fractured Butthole, but not like the anus, like the word butt and then hole. You know, as a haha joke. I'm ruining the joke, but anyways, they showed that off at Ubisoft did, and then obviously the big dog of their conference was Watch Dogs 2. I saw that. It looked pretty good. It's not amazing, but to be honest, I'm kind of glad they're not making it look good, because they'd end up just screwing us over in the end, like they did with Watch Dogs last time, like the first one. And then they also showed they talked about the Division DLC and shit like that. And I just realized I'm not even streaming anymore. When did I stop streaming? It's all about disrupting their income. Two other projects they're working on to release before Elder Scrolls 6, so Elder Scrolls Online is also getting a new DLC this week, like the first DLC pack they released. Vito Scaletta, the main protagonist from that. And I just realized I haven't been streaming shit. Yep. That's happening. Alright. Alright. I'm guessing as soon as I stop watching on my phone, that one person's gonna go away. Oh no, you're still here? Why? All you can do is hear me. I'm not that interesting. Alright, so well, since I just realized I'm not streaming anymore, I will try to head over to Fallout 4. Maybe try to stream that, because it doesn't want to work with multiplayer on Uncharted 4. I knew if I tried to stream multiplayer, it's shit. So if I only stream single player games, it doesn't want to be shit. I don't know why, but it does. I mean, I know my internet's some butt in the first place, but it's just shittier on multiplayer. So I'm probably going to head over to Fallout 4. But I'm probably going to take a brief break, probably about, 30 minutes. 40 minutes, because I got some stuff to do. And then I'll be back on some Fallout 4 survival mode. So yeah, I see you there, one person. I will see you later. All right. Bye. You gonna go? You don't have to sit here and wait for me to stop streaming. I'm gonna stop streaming as soon as you leave, bruh. All right. You just gonna stay here? Okay. I'll just stop the broadcast.